the modifications that are made or that is created or that is based in our Carnot refrigeration cycle. So again, yung reverse Carnot cycle natin based on the theoretical cycle, So even though it has a coefficient of performance which is greater than, or it has a greater amount of efficiency or coefficient of performance, it does not work into an actual system. So ganun din yung sa steam, yung Carnot cycle. So same with the reverse Carnot cycle. So it does not work into actual equipment. So kaya nagkaroon ng modification with its TS diagram for it to work in an actual system para mag-function siya as a refrigeration machine. Okay? And for all of those modification, kaya nagkaroon ng vapor compression cycle which we have discussed last week. So ngayon, we will be reviewing what are those modification made from the Carnot cycle para alam nyo saan nanggaling, ito. Or ano yung mga modification bago nagkaroon ng vapor compression cycle na nagwo-work into actual equipment. Okay. So ito naman, itong first part naman ng lecture is simple vapor compression cycle. Okay. Bukas ba ang inyong camera? Ayun. Pa-open naman ako ng camera para kita ko. Siyempre, kita ko kayo, no? Ayun. Okay. Yan. Hanggang anong oras pala kayo kahapon doon sa Maghapon din kayo, no? Kasi may isang section pala doon na akala nila doon sa lahat ng time na may klase. Hindi kayo ba hindi ko alam kung kayo nagtanong kung pwede lang umuwi ng tanghali. Kasi, na-require na din at sinabihan tayo ng mess advisor din na hanggang hapon na lang pa-attendance since wala namang klase. So hanggang hapon kayo?
Opo.
Ayun, so nakita niyo ang Sir Indo. Siya yung instructor namin sa aircon, pero sa ref, hindi naman si Sir. Pero si Sir Indo ay legendary char. Ayun. So pagdating talaga dito, alam niya na lahat. Pero hindi ko alam kung dito sa section na to may nagtanong or sa ibang section na nagtanong kung paano kayo mamimili ng refrigerant. Tama ba? Naintindihan niyo ba yung sagot ng sir? O hindi kayo nakikinig? O hindi niyo narinig na may nagtanong ng ganon? Narinig niyo ba na may nagtanong ng ganon?
Narinig ko nga.
Anong sagot?
Parang aalamin po muna kung ano po yung cycle po na ginagamit po.
Yun, nakikinig naman si Ining. How about yung iba, nakikinig kaya? Ayun, that is correct. Siyempre, si Sir Indo nagsabi. Bale, wala siyang direktang sagot kung anong refrigerant ang ginamit. So yun, parang dapat alam mo muna yung system na gagamitin. Siguro sa inyong section yun, nanggaling. Sa inyo ba?
Hindi po, ma'am. Sa auto po ata.
Sa auto? Auto ba? Ayun. Pero natapos, Sabado nagkaroon ng diga, nung pinauwi yung klase. Kayo yung hindi ko na klase, no? Tama? Sabado ba yun? Oo nga, Sabado yun. Kayo yung hindi na klase. Yun.
Opo, ma'am.
Natapos nyo na ba yung video? Kasi baka kako kayo yung nagtanong tapos hindi nyo natapos yung lecture natin kung paano yung selection of refrigerant. Yun, review lang kasi meron again tayong capstone design project doon. So, going back, ano naman yung natutunan nyo dun sa kahapon? Kaya din ako matindong pahapon kasi HVAC yung dinidiscuss. Tapos baka sabihin ng mga student ko, nasan si ma'am? Maghapon na kami dito, di makita si ma'am. Kaya din ako umattend kasi HVAC yung discussion. Tapos, tinapos ko na din hanggang doon sa last na plenary talk. Okay. So, ayun. Iilan ang nagbubukas ng camera? Anim. Ayun, pa-open na lang. Okay. So, bakit natin inuna yung discussion? So, go back na tayo doon sa ating discussion. So, bakit natin inuna yung simple vapor compression cycle? So, para at least alam nyo na kung paano, or meron na kayong whole idea with the cycle, kung saan, para malaman mo saan ba siya nag-base or bakit nagkaroon ng modification dun sa ating Carnot. So again, yung ating reverse Carnot cycle, di talaga siya nag-ooperate into actual equipment. So, first modification or yung unang ginawa, doon sa Carnot, kasi doon sa Carnot cycle natin, ay, ito yung mga na-discuss na natin. So same with this Carnot cycle. So this operates at constant temperature heat rejection, constant temperature heat addition doon sa evaporator. Pero ang unang modification is sa paggamit ng vapor or gas refrigerant. So meaning, kung vapor or gas refrigerant yung dumadaan doon sa cycle natin, ibig sabihin wala tayong constant temperature addition of heat, constant temperature, removal of heat. Kasi nga, vapor lahat siya. So, ang lahat ng heat na mapapad doon are sensible heat with the increase in temperature. Wala tayong straight line, kagaya nito. Clear ba? So, meaning, yung unang modification na ginawa dito is ito. So, this one is when using with the use of vapor or gas refrigerant in the Carnot cycle. So since wala nga tayong phase change, so meaning pag nag-add or nag-remove ka ng heat, bababa yung temperature. Clear ba tayo doon? So let us start doon sa process pa din ng compressor state point 1 to 2 dito. Okay, so compressor pa din. 1 to 2 is isentropic compression. 2 to 3 is, in this case, ay hindi na siya constant temperature kasi nga vapor yung ating refrigerant or gas. For example, ay air. Hindi naman nagkakaroon ng phase change, so walang latent heat na nare-remove. So since dito, pag nag-remove tayo ng heat, so since gas siya, walang phase change, meaning bababa yung temperature niya, which is seen dito. 2 to 3, kaya hindi siya tuwid. Kasi again, vapor or gas yung ating refrigerant. So using vapor as a refrigerant with the use of this TS diagram in figure 5, so because the Carnot refrigeration is again most efficient cycle, so every attempt should be made to reproduce it with actual equipment. So certainly, the reversible process cannot be duplicated, but at least the rectangular shape of the cycle on the temperature entropy diagram should be maintained. So doing so means that all the heat can be received at one temperature level and reject at another. Okay? So if gas such as air, example natin as refrigerant is air, the cycle would appear just like in this figure 5. So again, pag nagkaroon tayo ng heat addition, kasi ito yung refrigerating surface pa din natin or yung ating evaporator where we add yung heat load from the refrigerated space. So instead of having horizontal line to show constant temperature, since vapor or gas nga yung ating refrigerant, and in this case is air, so pag nag-add ka ng heat, ibig sabihin, tataas yung temperature mo. At kita natin siya sa TS diagram that from state 4.4, tumaas siya ng temperature state 0.1. Clear ba tayo doon? So the isentropic compression and expansion process are 1 to 2 and 3 to 4 respectively. So process 2 to 3 and 4 to 1 are the constant pressure cooling and heating process respectively. So this cycle differs from Carnot cycle operating at the same 2 temperature by the addition of areas N and M. Kasi again, ang refrigerant nga natin dito, for example, is air. So we are working into 4 different temperature. Pero yung ating reverse Carnot is operating in 2 temperature. Ibig sabihin, meron talagang phase change na mangyayari. But in this case, yun nga, ang isang modification is paggamit ng vapor all throughout the cycle. Okay, so at point 4, the temperature must be lower than the cold room temperature so that as the gas receive heat in the constant pressure process, it rises to a temperature no higher than that in the cold room. So for similar reason, yung T2 natin must be above the atmospheric temperature. So the effect of area N is to increase the work required, which decreases the coefficient of performance. So what do we mean by that? So yun kasing normal na Carnot cycle, yung Carnot cycle natin, as you can see is itong rectangular shape natin with atmosphere and cold room temperature. So ito yung rectangle dito. So with the increase of work which is being shown in this region, itong M na to, and then this region N na to, so it increases the work in the cycle, resulting to decrease in coefficient of performance. So ibig sabihin, pag nag-add ng work natin, so ibig sabihin, bababa yung ating coefficient of performance. So again, the effect of area N is to increase the work required, which decreases the coefficient of performance. So same with the effect of area M, also increase the work required in order to reduce the amount of refrigeration. So both of these effects, area M, reduce the coefficient of performance. So with the use of vapor compression, vapor or gas refrigerant, yung modification natin ng paggamit ng refrigerant, which is gas or vapor, results to mababang COP. So it adds work. Okay. So again, dito, instead of a gas, yung refrigerant that is volatile, so meaning it condenses during the heat rejection and boils during the heat addition or refrigeration process. So such a refrigerant could therefore operate between vapor and liquid state. So in this case, babalik tayo dun sa horizontal line natin sa ating TS diagram. So meron pa din tayong constant temperature dito. So same dito. So yung modification na yun, with the use of liquid refrigerant that will undergo phase change all throughout the cycle, ay merong dalawang modification. So meron tayong wet compression and meron tayong dry compression. So what do we mean by wet and dry compression? So in this case, kita naman natin na kung bakit siya tinawag na wet compression. Dito naman alam natin bakit siya tinawag na dry compression. So you just have to look with the state point that enters the compressor. So in this case, nasa wet region yung papasok sa ating compressor, which is in state point 1. Tama ba? So same with, differs naman dito sa dry compression wherein yung papasok sa ating compressor is vapor. So ibig sabihin, dry compression siya without liquid refrigerant present, and that is clearly indicated or seen in our TS diagram, in this case, state point 1. So let us first discuss itong modification dun sa ating wet compression. So in this figure 6, process 1 to 2 is wet compression. So again, kita natin yung process 1 natin is in its wet region. So when a reciprocating compressor is used, several factors discourage the practice of wet compression. So alam ko, na-discuss na din to doon sa introduction na part 3. Yung presence of moisture. Presence of moisture or kaya naman yung kasi presence of moisture doon sa compressors also, yun din, yung liquid part. So in this case, so the liquid refrigerant may be trapped in the head kapag again, wet mixture, meron tayong liquid and vapor refrigerant. So in this case, liquid refrigerant may be trapped in the head of the cylinder by the rising piston, which possibly damage the valves of the cylinder head. So another possible danger of wet compression is that the droplets of liquid may wash the lubricating oil from the walls of the cylinder, which accelerates wear. So, summary ng dito, for wet compression, nadadamage niya yung cylinder natin. Yung cylinder and then yung ating compressor. Sa wet compression. So, kaya nagkaroon tayo ng another modification, which is nagkaroon naman tayo ng dry compression. But at this case, again, this is based on Carnot cycle pa din, since we have an isentropic expansion process in process 3 to 4. Since dito kasi kailangan nating mapababa yung ating pressure, para magkaroon tayo ng refrigerated space, mapababa yung pressure, mapababa yung temperature. Kasi pagbaba ng pressure, bababa yung ating temperature. So dito, isentropic process or isentropic expansion yung nandoon. So which is based pa din dun sa Carnot cycle, which is isentropic expansion process. So in this dry compression, the suction of the compressor is set to the saturated vapor line, which is clearly seen dun sa state point 1. So compression of dry vapor result in temperature at point 2, which is higher than that of the condensing temperature. So the refrigerant therefore leaves the compressor superheated. The area of the cycle which is above the condensing temperature is called our superheated horn. Yung triangle na yon, state point 2. On the DS diagram, it represents the additional work required for dry compression. So this is shown in this figure 7. Okay. So in this case, meron tayong dry compression, parang malapit na doon sa mismong saturate or standard vapor compression cycle. So ano yung naging problema doon sa paggamit ng isentropic expansion? So just like sa turbine, sa turbine ang nangyayari is isentropic expansion, meron tayong work output. So dito ang ginagamit or ang equipment pa dito is engine. Engine meaning meron tayong work output, isentropic expansion in heat engine. So meron tayong work output dito sa state 3.4, 3 to 4 with isentropic expansion. So ano yung modification na ginawa at bakit ginawa pa yung modification? Meron nga tayong possible na work output dun sa 3 to 4 pag ginamit natin is yung heat engine natin. So in our expansion process, another revision on the Carnot dry compression is made to alter the expansion process. So yun na nga yun, nasa process 3 to 4 na tayo. The Carnot cycle demands that the expansion takes place isentropically and that the resulting work be used to help drive the compressor. So meaning, yung work pala dito, sa process 3 to 4 natin can be used as a work input doon sa compressor natin. Yun yung idea. Na pag nagkaroon tayo ng work output dun sa ating 3 to 4, kasi nga isentropic expansion siya, so yung work output can possibly work the compressor at 1 to 2. Pero ano yung mga naging problem? So there are practical difficulties that is against the use of expansion engine. So one main function natin doon sa process 3 to 4 is mapababa yung ating pressure. Para magkaroon tayo ng mababang temperature. Okay? So in this case, yung practical difficulties is yung paggamit ng expansion or paggamit ng engine para mapababa is parang parang mahal. Kumpara doon sa paggamit ng compared with its main purpose. So again, yung idea nga is magamit yung work output doon sa work input sa compressor natin. So what are the practical difficulties? So number 1, ito, yung possible work that can be derived from the engine, dun sa process 3 to 4, pag engine yung ginamit natin, is a small fraction of that which must be supplied to the compressor. So meaning it cannot suffice all the work that we should input doon sa ating compressor. So parang yun, meron ka pa din gagamitin na work, which is hindi kaya ng engine, na i-work yung compressor on its own. And in this case, konting fraction lang, or maliit na fraction lang yung kayang i-supply doon sa compressor. So another practical difficulties, as lubrication intrude when a fluid of two phases drive the engine. So ano ba yung two phases? So kakaroon tayo, so you can see, kung babalikan natin to, 3 to 4, parang all throughout our heat engine, meron na siyang mixture. So meron tayong vapor, meron tayong liquid doon. And then lastly is in terms of the economics. The economic of power recovery, so meaning yung power recovery, meron na tayong work input or work output na possible ma-gain dun sa paggamit ng heat engine on 3 to 4 for expansion or isentropic expansion. So yung economics of power recovery have in the past not justified the cost of expansion engine. Parang sobrang mahal niya for its process, tas konti lang naman yung work na kaya niyang isupply doon sa compressor. Gagamit pa din tayo ng work para mapagana yung compressor na labas doon sa system. So in this case, yung possibility naman ng paggamit ng expansion engine ay pinag-aaralan pa din. Pero yun nga, sobrang mahal ng paggamit ng engine para doon sa process na yun. Kaya ang naging modification is yung paggamit ng reducer pressure. The necessity still remains of reducing the pressure of liquid in this process 3 to 4. So ang ginamit is a throttling device such as valve or other restriction is almost universally used for this purpose. So barring changes in potential and kinetic energy and with no transfer of heat, wherein nagkaroon tayo ng isenthalpic process with the use of throttle valve. The constant enthalpy throttling process is irreversible, and during the process, the entropy increases. So the throttling process takes place from 3 to 4, and that is our standard vapor compression system, which we have discussed last week. Clear ba tayo doon? So review lang ulit natin what are the processes in this standard vapor compression cycle. So again, yun yung mga modification process na nagkaroon tayo ng vapor or dry compression dito para maiwasan yung pagkasira ng compressor natin. And then also yung ating isenthalpic expansion process. Constant enthalpy throttling process. So, yun yung standard vapor compression system natin. So again, yung process natin, isentropic compression of vapor refrigerant in the compressor. So 2 to 3 is a constant pressure condensation of vapor refrigerant at the condenser. And then process 3 to 4 is the constant enthalpy throttling process at the expansion valve. And then last is yung evaporating, where evaporating effect happens sa evaporator natin. Where the absorption of heat load at the evaporator while evaporation of refrigerant took place. So yung absorption of heat load causes the refrigerant to vaporize. Bago again, pumasok siya ng compressor. Okay? Any question doon? So, yung mga problems regarding doon sa standard vapor compression cycle is na-discuss na natin last week. So, ang hindi lang tayo nakapagbigay ng example is what if pressure sa condenser at pressure sa evaporator yung binigay. So, meaning, pag gano'n, titingin ka lang din sa table. So, again, what if pressure ang binigay? Eh di, pabaliktad naman siya. Temperature naman yung hahanapin mo. Clear ba tayo doon? Doon ka pa din titingin. Kapag siya ay liquid or vapor, sa table ka titingin. Clear ba tayo? So parang hindi kasi ako nakapagbigay pa ng example na pressure yung given. More on temperature pa. Pero again, kung pressure yung given, dapat alam mo kung paano siya ko-compute pa din. So sa pressure ka naman titingin and then dito mo naman siya makukuha. Ganun pa din. Any question? Clarification? Question, clarification? Okay.
Wala naman po.
Yes? May nagtaas ang kamay. Alaysa? Solve ba natin problem number 1? Okay. Mamaya, i-review natin yung pagtingin sa graph. Pero hindi na natin ulit isosolve. Parang ano lang natin yung pagkuha ng H2. Kasi nga pala face-to-face tayo nun. Pero yon, kailangan talaga ninyong maging aware sa chart. Marami din naman tayong example ngayon sa pagkuha doon sa chart. Ayun, kasi mas makikita natin na tuwid. Okay? So, for example, ayan, basta ito. For example, like ito, so kailangan lang talaga ninyong magkaroon ng tuwid na line. Para mas makuha. Pero again, re-review natin yan mamaya. Just for example lang. So, yun. So, bukod dun sa ating standard vapor compression cycle, meron din from the standard vapor compression cycle, nagkaroon din ng other modifications, although it is already working in its actual equipment. So, nagkaroon pa din ng mga modification in order to increase the COP or the coefficient of performance. So, it is also important that you know what are the effects of the operating condition on the refrigerating machine. So example, anong mangyayari kapag pinataas yung condensing temperature or pinataas yung evaporating temperature, pinababa yung condensing temperature, pinababa yung evaporating temperature, nagkaroon ng superheated, nagkaroon ng subcooled. So in this case, so before we move on to the discussion of refrigeration system that uses heat exchanger, so as you can see, nagkaroon tayong modification pa din in our TS diagram, although, yung standard vapor compression cycle natin is already working, in the actual equipment. So nagkaroon pa din tayo ng other modification in order to increase coefficient of performance ng refrigeration system. So nagkaroon tayo ng superheat, nagkaroon tayo ng subcooled. But before that, let us discuss muna this one. So what are the effects of the operate? All of these lectures are already uploaded doon sa Google Classroom natin. So, ayun. So what are the effects on the operating condition? So first what is the effect of increasing the vaporizing temperature? So, ito naman, if this was given in the problem, or sa exam, so malay nyo, may ibigay na ganito na i-compare ninyo yung mga values. So, paano nyo siya gagawin? So, para lang kayong may dalawang standard vapor compression cycle na isosolve. So, paghiwalayin na lang. So, the first one is increasing the vaporizing temperature. So, kung ang standard cycle natin is itong 961, 40 at -10, tapos increasing vaporizing temperature naging 5 degrees. Ibig sabihin, yung -10 naging 5 degrees. Ano daw yung effect nun? Ano yung effect na pagtaas ng evaporating temperature? So first na cycle na i-compute mo, parehas naman siyang standard vapor compression. So hindi naman magkakaproblema or hindi naman sasabihin na hindi naituro. Kasi dalawa lang naman yan na standard vapor compression. Hahanapin mo lang siya parehas para ma-compare mo yung value. So ito yung una. Yan yung unang system. Yan. Ito. Yan. So ito yung unang binigay. Ito yung working at 40 degrees Celsius condensing temperature and -10 degrees Celsius evaporating temperature. So yan yung una mong kukunin, and then the other one should be yung pinataas na vaporizing temperature. So, alin yung pangalawa na i-compute mo? Ito. So, ito is nakasummarize na. So, nakasummarize na siya na ano yung mga magiging effect. So, hindi nyo naman to kailangan i-memorize. Di yun nga lang. Kailangan nyo maging familiar. And so, as long as kaya nyo namang i-drawing yung kanyang TS diagram, so hindi naman magkakaroon ng problema doon. So again, ito yung padalawa na standard vapor compression cycle na isosolve mo. Okay? So working at 5 degrees Celsius and 40 degrees Celsius. And then, pag nakuha mo lahat, ano ba yung mga kailangan kuhanin? Refrigerating effect, work, heat rejected. So yun. Para ma-compare mo yung mga values or kung ano mang required sa problem. Yun yung kukuhanin. So these are the summary of the effects of increasing the vaporizing temperature. So this is based on solved problem na. Okay? So can you please read the effects of increasing the vaporizing temperature, John Rainiel?
Effects of increasing the vaporizing temperature. First, the refrigerating effect per unit mass increases. Second, the mass flow rate per ton decreases. The volume flow rate per ton decreases. Fourth, the COP increases. Fifth, the work per ton decreases. And lastly, the heat rejected at the condenser per ton decreases.
So, ito naman again ay summarize na. So kung isosolve nyo ulit tong problem na to, same lang din siya nung pag-solve natin last week, pero dalawa na standard vapor compression cycle siya. So one is working at 40 degrees Celsius and 5 degrees Celsius. Ito yung pinataas ang vaporizing temperature. And the other one is 40 degrees Celsius and negative 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, clear ba tayo doon? Okay, so what if malay nyo merong problem na ganito sa exam? Pero magbibigay din ako ng problem set na ganito. So next one is the effect of increasing condensing temperature. So ito naman, pinataas naman ang condensing temperature. So if you will be solving this, meron again tayong dalawa. So one is working at 50 degrees Celsius. Hindi, ang una muna since pinataas, so ito muna 40 and negative 10. And then the other one is 50 at negative 10. So yun yung dalawang kinumpare. Ano yung magiging effect niya? So ito, putol lang to, pero the refrigerating effect per unit mass decreases. Clear ba tayo doon? Clear?
Yes po.
Okay. Wait lang. Okay, and then the mass flow rate per ton increases. So, saan ba siya nakikita? RE. Ito yun, diga. So, ito is yung sa pinataas. Ito naman yung sa normal na negative 10. Tapos ito naman is yung sa 50. So mas bumaba yung refrigerating effect niya based dito sa line na to. Dun sa ating pH diagram. So paano natin nakita na ganun yung niya? Kasi pag pinag-minus natin, mas mataas yung refrigerating effect na to. Kasi again, kung review natin yung ating pH diagram, ay ito siya. Okay, so review lang natin. So ibig sabihin, kita natin dito, itong gitna, ito yung wet mixture or wet region, superheated yung nasa left-right ng ating saturated vapor line. Ito naman sub-cold siya or compressed liquid region on the left side. Ito pala yung right, left side ng ating saturated liquid line. So kung makikita ninyo, pag mas mataas, di ba, yung enthalpy, saan na yun? Okay. So, mas mataas yung difference nito compared sa difference nito. Kaya makikita natin na bumaba yung refrigerating effect pag tumaas yung condensing temperature. So, effect naman niya sa mass at saka volume flow rate, it both increases. Yung COP natin decreases since refrigerating effect natin decreases. So, yung work per ton natin increase. Okay? So, heat rejected naman also increases. So that is the effect of condensing temperature or increase in the condensing temperature. So next naman is the effect of superheating the suction vapor. So meaning ito naman, bago siya pumasok ng compressor, meron tayong superheated state point 1. So in this, dapat alam mo din paano siya titingnan sa table. Paano mo ba titingnan siya sa table? H1 is superheated, so hindi na siya sa table titingnan, sa chart na, kasi superheated na siya. So ano yung mga common points dito para makuha mo? Ano yung mga common points? Since this is working into constant pressure, yan, same pressure at the evaporator, and temperature is given at this point, which is 15 degrees Celsius. So yun yung titingnan mo dun sa chart para mahanap mo yung H1. Clear ba tayo doon? So again, if meron kayong superheated state point, yung state point mo is in the superheated region, so kailangan mo ng dalawang properties para magkaroon ka ng intersection doon sa chart natin. Okay, clear ba yun?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. So, yan. So, same dito. So, ibig sabihin, in this case, di na siya SG. Kasi yung entropy mo ng 1 is superheated. So, sa superheated ka din titingin ng entropy which is equal to state point 2. So, ito yung solve din naman natin mamaya. With heat exchanger yon. So, what is the effect of superheating the suction vapor? Can you please read the slide, David?
For the effects of superheating the suction vapor. Effects of superheating the suction vapor. When superheating useful cooling. The refrigerating effect per unit mass increases. The mass flow rate per ton decreases. The volumetric per ton decreases. The COP increases. The work per ton decreases. Now, when superheating occurs without useful cooling, the refrigerating effect per unit mass remains the same. The mass flow rate per ton remains the same. The volume flow rate per ton increases. The COP decreases. The work per ton increases. The heat rejected at the condenser per ton increases.
Okay, so that is the effect of superheating the suction vapor. So meron tayo dito superheating useful cooling and without useful cooling. So ito naman is yun, masasolve pa din naman natin. Kaya yun, you have to make sure na alam mo kung paano siya ipa-plot dun sa ating pH diagram. Binabanggit naman sa problem kung subcooled or superheated. Kaya kailangan nyo lang siyang sundan sa pagpa-plot, tamang pagpa-plot sa pH diagram. So next naman natin is the effects of subcooling the liquid. So what is the effect of subcooling the liquid? So in this case, yung lalabas ng ating condenser is subcooled. Subcooled liquid. Nasa left side siya ng saturated liquid line. Okay. So what are the effects? Can you please read this, Ayumi? Okay. So, yun. That is the effect of subcooling the liquid. So, in this case, it increases the COP. So, yung ating superheating also increases yung COP natin. So, with the use of heat exchanger, para siyang nagkaroon ng subcooled at saka superheat. So, this means that compared with our standard vapor compression cycle, it increases yung COP kapag nagkaroon tayo ng subcooled at superheat naman bago pumasok ng compressor. Okay? So, you have to, be cautious if mayroong heat exchanger na ginamit sa cycle. Kasi kapag meron, di ito yung ating components. And state point also. So, start natin entering the compressor. So, as it enters our compressor, state point 1, superheated siya due to this heat exchanger. So state point 1 to state point 2, compression pa din process. Increasing temperature and pressure. High temperature, high pressure, vapor, refrigerant, or yung superheated vapor refrigerant natin. So 2 to 3 pa din, it condenses into saturated liquid, leaving our condenser in saturated liquid F pa din or sub-F pa din siya kukunin. Okay, pero nag-subcold siya nung pagkalabas niya ng heat exchanger. So dito, naging subcold siya, heat exchanger, and then it enters our expansion valve 4 to 5 with constant enthalpy process dun sa ating expansion valve. And then 5 to 6 evaporator. So meaning, lalabas pa rin siya ng evaporator ng saturated vapor. And then, due to the use of heat exchanger, maging superheated siya. Before it enters our compressor. Clear ba tayo doon? Clear tayo doon? Any question? So yun, kailangan lang, again, aware kayo dun sa ating pH diagram. Para alam nyo paano siya kukuhanin yung value. So again, dapat alam mo paano kukunin yung enthalpies at each of the state point natin. Okay? So we have sample problem for this, yun. So dapat, again, alam nyo paano siya kukunin sa table. So kindly read this problem, Irish.
Example problem 1. An ammonia refrigeration system has liquid to suction heat exchanger and operates at 36 degrees Celsius condensing temperature and negative 10 degrees Celsius evaporating temperature. If the heat exchanger provides 6 degrees Celsius subcooling and the evaporator capacity is 50 kilowatts, compression is isentropic, determine the following. A. Enthalpy at different section of the cycle. B. Mass flow rate of refrigerant in kilogram per second. And C. COP of the system compared with the COP of standard vapor compression cycle.
Wait lang. Okay. Okay, so meaning ang unang hahanapin natin ay yung enthalpies at each of the state point. So dito natin marireview yung tinatanong nyo dan last week para mas clear sa lahat. Kasi dito kita natin paano siya mag-i-intersect, so paano ka gagawa ng line dun sa inyong chart. Okay? So, yan. On this problem number 1, nasaan na ba yun? Ayan. So for this problem number 1, ayan. Mali. Okay. So, yan. What are the given doon sa problem natin? So, ito ay nagkaroon ng subcooling at saka superheat, pero based on the problem, we only have subcooling. Nag-subcooled siya ng 6 degrees Celsius. So, when we say subcooling, ibig sabihin, bumaba siya ng 6 degrees. Compared with its condensing temperature. So the given are, ito, again, yung temperature natin, condensing temperature natin is 36 degrees Celsius. And then dito naman, we have negative 10 degrees Celsius. So meron tayong binigay na QA, medyo malalaki lang yung sulat pag dito sa Google Docs. Naintindihan naman. Ano to? PowerPoint sa Google Slides. So QA natin is 50 kilowatt. So, yan yung mga given. Subcooled. So, this one is 36 degrees Celsius. Kasi equal siya ng temperature. Pero again, iba yung temperature ng ating 2. So, in this case, meron tayong temperature na 4. Yung ating subcooled temperature, yung 36 degrees Celsius natin, babawasan natin siya ng 6 degrees Celsius kasi nag-subcooled tayo. So, meaning, yung ating temperature 4 is less than 6 sa 36. So, 30 degrees Celsius. So, yan yung ang hahanapin natin ng mga enthalpies are enthalpy from state point 1 to 6. So, ano yung mga madaling hanapin na enthalpy? So, syempre, yung enthalpies that touches our saturation line kasi we can directly get it through table. So, yung mga superheated part naman will be from the table or charts pala. Charts. So, about yung subcold naman. So, mamaya discuss natin yung sa subcold. So, ano ba yung sa subcold natin? Yung subcold natin, ibig sabihin, bumaba yung temperature. So, dito, sa process 3 to 6 subcold, ibig sabihin, nagkaroon ng heat rejection sa condenser. Same with dito, nagkaroon ng heat rejection kasi bumaba yung temperature. So, kung dito, ang heat rejection natin, from this point, from this point to this point, ang nabawas sa atin is latent heat. So, dito naman, ang nabawas sa atin is sensible kasi heat rejected with a change in temperature, pero liquid pa din. Liquid lahat. Kasi pagdating natin dito sa 3, liquid na siya, and then for subcold, liquid pa din siya, pero there is a decrease in temperature from 36 naging 30 degrees Celsius. So meaning, the heat that is removed sa part na yon is already sensible heat. So paano natin makukuha yung H doon? So to get yung H natin doon, that is HF kasi HF yung nasa point na to. Yung heat present that in the state point 3 is HF at 36 degrees Celsius. So HF siya. And then this one should be kasi nga heat rejected, so minus na siya. Okay, so again, meaning meron tayong heat rejected, kaya ima-minus natin yung sensible heat na makukompute natin. So paano ba tayo nag-subtract or paano ba kinukuha yung sensible heat natin? So dapat alam mo yung specific heat of the refrigerant. So specific heat multiplied by the change in temperature. Di ba yun yung pagkuha natin ng heat rejected? Kasi nagkaroon ng decrease in temperature, so hanapin natin yung heat rejected. So since there again is a change in temperature, so gagamitin natin yung Cp delta T. So minus siya kasi nga heat rejected. So to get yung H at subcold, HF minus Cp delta T. Pero yan yung dapat na gagamitin or yung thought doon. Pero in this case, yung subcold natin, kinukuha na din siya as HF kasi malapit na yung value niya. HF na din siya. Pero, again, hindi siya equal, pero malapit yung value, yun na yung ginagamit. Kesa, isolve yung CP pag hindi siya halimbawa, hindi siya given sa problem, so yun yung ginagamit, HF na. So, meaning dito, to get temperature natin dito is HF at 30 degrees Celsius. Okay? Clear ba tayo doon? Clear? Clear ba?
Yes po.
Okay, so meaning sa pagkuha ng ating H, ano yung mga madaling mga makukuha? So meron tayong H6. H6 natin is equal to ano? Ano yung H6 natin? So H6 at this point natin is H. Okay, kaya mahalaga na meron kayong pH diagram para kita mo kung vapor siya or liquid siya. So in this case, H6 natin is Hg at negative 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, so we can directly get the value of H6 from the table. And then, H3 din natin, as you can see, it touches our saturated liquid line. So this is HF at, take note, this one is at 36 degrees Celsius. So HF at 36 degrees Celsius. And then, H4 is subcold, but again, I have mentioned, na kapag walang binigay na specific heat, instead of using this HF minus Cp delta T, ang gagawin na lang natin is to get yung HF at subcold, so at 30 degrees Celsius. Clear ba tayo doon? Okay, so pakuha muna ako ng 4 na yun kasi 4 na to. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll give you 3 minutes para makuha tong mga HF na to. Okay, so yun, dapat alam nyo kung sang state point siya at paano siya kukunin sa table. Kasi walang nakalagay na ganyan kapag ka mag-e-exam. So kayo ang titingin doon kayo ang gagawa ng diagram, kayo din ang magtitingin sa table kung nasan siya. So dapat aware kayo kung saan kayo titingin. So again, all of this state point ay nasa loob pa siya or kaya na i-touch siya saturation line. So mamaya, we will discuss paano kukunin yung sa superheated. Okay, so ano yung mga value na nakuha nyo? Okay. Pa-dictate na lang for H6, anong nakuha nyo?
1450.22.
Okay. How about the next? Ano ba yung next? Okay, how about H3?
370.957 po.
Okay, that is correct. How about yung sa subcold?
341.769 po.
Okay. Okay, so same value dito. So we have H3, H4, and H5. H4 and 5 is equal. And then H6 natin is 1450122. So in order for us to get the value of H1, kasi walang binigay na superheat na temperature, so hindi natin siya pwedeng tingnan sa table. So walang binigay na superheat na temperature dito. Pero if meron, we can directly get it through chart kasi superheated siya. But in this case, ang gagamitin natin is ito, energy balance sa ating heat exchanger. So paano tayo mag-energy balance dito sa ating heat exchanger? Okay, so paano tayo mag-energy balance dito sa ating heat exchanger? So, ayan. Ito. So, yan. Dito kayo mag-energy balance. So, ganun pa din in positive, out, negative. So, in this case, meron tayong in, or kaya naman, energy in is equal to energy out. Yun na lang gawin natin. So, ano yung mga papasok natin? So, we have H3, and then papasok din yung ating H6, and that is equal to lahat ng palabas or out natin. So H4 plus H1. So yan. Same lang din naman yan dun sa pinasa ko na lecture. Pero in this case kasi ito, H3 minus H4 is equal to H1 minus H6. Pero pares lang naman yan. So mapapansin nyo, H3 plus H6. So base dito, H3 plus H6 is equal to H4 plus H1. So in this, ito. So H1, ito naman is, pag nilipat mo dito, H4 plus H1 or H1 plus H4. So yun, as long as yun, alam nyo paano mag-energy balance sa heat exchanger, then there will be no problem. So now, since we have the value for H3, meron tayong value ng H4, meron din tayong H6, so kindly solve for the value of H1. So, substitute nyo lang dito sa mga values na to get the value of H1. So, again, pasolve muna. Okay, so anong sagot nyo? Anong sagot nyo for H1?
1479.408 po.
Okay, same lang din naman yan, So we have H3 minus H4, which is the same dun sa kaninang pinakita ko. So therefore, our H1 is 1479.408 ba? So ito na yun, malapit na din naman. Okay, clear ba tayo doon? So now, we need to find the value, of H2. So paano natin mahahanap yung value ng H2 natin? So same siya dun sa last week. So meron, ba yung mga, again, pag titingin kayo ng superheated, kailangan meron kayong dalawang properties para mag-intersect. So eto, sa state point 2, ano yung mga known values natin to get H2? So to get H2 or at state point 2, ang pressure 2 natin is equivalent to pressure at T condense. Pressure at 36 degrees Celsius. So pressure at 36 degrees Celsius natin is itong 1391. So 1391 point, anong value yun? 1391.5 kPa. And then S2 is equal to S1, but in this case, superheated yung S1, di natin alam pa kung ano yung value na yon. So meaning, kailangan mo pala munang makuha yung S1. So kailangan mo pa ding i-plot yung ating state point 1 dun sa ating chart. So yan, yung isa dun sa magiging review natin sa pagtingin ng chart natin. Okay? So meaning, kailangan mong magkaroon ng dalawang properties naman ulit dito sa state point 1. Ano yung known? Nakuha natin H1, no? So meron na tayong isa. So ano yung isa na pwede pa nating gamitin sa tingin nyo? Ano pa yung isa na pwede nating gamitin? Ano pa yung isang property? Sa tingin nyo?
Temperature po ba, ma'am?
Anong temperature ang gagamitin? Okay, so you have to take note that our temperature 6 is different from our temperature 1. So what common? The common property on those 2 points, which is also equal to state point 5 is ano? Ano? Kita natin. Pressure, no? So pressure at T evap. So ano yung pressure natin at T evap? 291.57. So meaning para makuha natin yung state point 1, so yung state point, pangit ng sulat, no? Point 1, so meron tayong H1 and P1, which is equal to P condense. P condense, wherein yung ating temperature ng condenser is negative 5, no? Okay, so ano ba yung ating P condense? Patingin naman ako sa table. Ano nga yung 291? Tama ba? Point, ano nga point yun? Point, 291.57 pala. 291.57 kilo Pascal. So ibig sabihin dun sa ating titingnan mo itong H1 na 147.9 at yung 291, ano yung intersection ng dalawang yan? So tingnan yung intersection ng dalawang yan. Okay, so again, ano nga yung ating H1? H1 natin is 1479.4. So ito yon 1479. So ito pala ay iibo pa natin ng konti. 1479, so 1480 to. So para siyang malapit na dun sa 1480 kasi 1479. So parang yan, malapit na siya dyan. Clear ba? Doon sa linyang yon. Clear?
Opo, ma'am.
Okay, so about doon sa pressure naman, at 291. Ito naman siya. So 291, ito siya. malapit siya sa 300 pero hindi direktang 300. So, ito kasing line na isang to, itong line na to, so 5 to 220, 240, 260, 280. So medyo malapit siya doon sa 300. So kung papansin nyo, ano kaya yung entropy? Ibig sabihin, ito yung ating state point 1. Okay, so kung mapapansin nyo, ito yung ating state point 6 doon sa ating chart. Doon sa ating pH diagram, ito yung point 1 na nag-superheat siya. So meaning dito mo mahahanap yung S1. Ano kaya yung S1 natin sa tansya nyo?
$5.85 po, ma'am.
Okay, pero as you can see, ang ating line dito is pa-curve, so para siyang tama, nasa mga 5.85 ganun, or 5.86 pa. So ito yung line na susundan mo. So ano yung ibig sabihin dito sa entropy na to, kailangan ka naman ng padalwa na value natin. So hanapin mo na naman ngayon yung sa state point 2. So ngayon, guguhitan mo naman yung para dun sa pressure or yung point na kailangan for 2. Ano ba yung for 2? Wait. Ito yung sa, yan. And then, ito, ano ba yung sa 2 natin? Itong temperature at pressure at T-condense, which is 1391.3, and then yung entropy natin is yung kanina na parang nasa 5.86 or 86 or 7. Yan. So, yun, parang kung mapapansin mo, kailangan nyo lang, yan, wala siya sa mismong gitna, medyo nasa baba siya ng konti, dito. Kaya pag inilipat mo siya doon sa, yan, hanapin mo lang kung saan magta-touch. Ito yung ating 1 again, ito. So dito, itong mga point na to, naulit ko naman to last week, na this is 1, 2, 1, 4, 1, 6, 1, 8, and then 2,000, itong line na to, and then, yan, 2, 1 nata yung kasunod. So since 1391, so parang nasa baba siya ng konti ng 1,4. Ayan, and then hahanapin mo, since ito yung 5.8 at 5.9, so parang mga nasa 5.7 siya. 8.7 or 8.5, so parang nandiyan siya sa point na yan. Okay? Clear ba tayo doon? Clear ba tayo sa pagtingin sa table? So meaning, ito pala yung ating state point 2 doon sa ating pH diagram. Clear ba tayo doon? Clear na ba yung pagtingin sa table? Pataas naman ako ng kamay. Ayan. So, hands down. So, mga ano kaya ang value niyan? So, bali, pag naghuhitan nyo, titingnan nyo sa taas kung ano yung possible na value. So, since dun sa medyo kalahati niyan is, yan, sa medyo kalahati niyan ay 1,710. Kasi 1,720 kasunod, so kalahati is 1,710. So, ano kaya yung possible na value niyan? Yun, tansya.
1714 po or 1715.
Okay, nasa 1714 or 1715. How about yung sa iba?
$1,716 po.
Okay, so kung mapapansin natin, di pa siya lumagpas dun sa kalahati ng 1.7, ano yung question? Di pa siya lumampas dun sa kalahati ng 1.715, no? So parang natama yung 1.714, pero mga nasa 1.713, 1.712. Pero yung nandun, again, sa pag-solve naman ng problem natin, kung ano yung nakikita ko din sa table, yun din ilalagay ko. Hindi kagaya ng nandito to sa sample, kung ano muna yung nandun sample yung gagamitin natin. Okay, pero kung mapapansin talaga natin, nasa mga 1713 siya. Pero yung nandun sa ating key, muna yung gamitin natin. Clear ba tayo doon? Which is in the range of our tolerance naman na plus 2 minus 2. Clear ba tayo doon? Any question? Question?
Wala naman po.
Application? Ayan. So meaning, nasa 17112 siya. And, ayun. Okay? So, nakuha na natin lahat ng value. Nakuha na natin lahat ng value for the enthalpy. So, nakuha natin H1 to H6. So, now, nakuha na natin ang A. So, let us move on to determining the mass flow rate of the refrigerant with 50 kilowatt. So, you have to take note that to get yung ating mass flow rate of refrigerant, so meron tayong evaporating capacity. And then, kailangan nyo ding balikan yung ating components. So, saan ba nangyayari yung refrigerating effect natin? So, again, it is in the evaporator. So, the enthalpy that we will be using is 5 and 6. Clear ba tayo doon? So, what is our mass flow rate? Kindly compute our mass flow rate. Okay, so anong na-compute ninyo na mass flow rate? May nakuha na ba kayong value? Anong nakuha nyo?
Ma'am, tama na po yung 0.0439.
Again, anong sagot nyo?
0.0439506732.
Okay. About yung iba? Okay. So ito, mass flow rate of the refrigerant natin is yan, 50 kasi 50 kilowatt. So divided by yan, H6 minus H5. H6 natin is 140.22 minus 341. Tama ba to? Or tama yung inyong decimal point na sinabi?
Ma'am, yan din po ang nakuha kong value.
Ayan. So ito, basta ang gagamitin natin, again, is yung 6 at 5 kasi yun yung nasa evaporator natin. Clear ba tayo doon? Pataas naman ako ng kamay kung clear tayo doon. Ayun. So yun, with the use of heat exchanger, ay di maglagay na lang din kayo ng mga components para hindi kayo malilito. Kasi in terms of the standard vapor compression cycle, parang madali na siyang tandaan. Kaso nga, ito, nagdagdagan siya ng component para at least mas madali yung maintindihan. So next naman is the COP of the system compared with the COP of the standard vapor compression cycle. So how are you going to compute for the standard or COP? Itong COP ng system, paano ba natin kukunin yung COP ng system na to? So since this one is yung ating COP of nitong system using heat exchanger. So using heat exchanger, COP natin is equal to QA over work. So ano ba yung QA natin? May given naman sa atin na 50 kilowatts. So about yung work natin. So work natin is yung papasok is 1, lalabas sa compressor natin is 2. So in this case, MR kasi ito ay may mass or may mass flow rate of the refrigerant. So MR multiplied by H2 minus H1. So this is our COP. So meron naman tayong MR, meron tayong H2, meron tayong H1. So makukuha natin yung COP na cycle na to. So what is our COP ng cycle na to? Okay, clear ba tayo dito? Okay, so how about naman doon sa standard vapor compression cycle? So yun naman yung ipapakompute ko sa inyo. Again, paano ba yung standard vapor compression cycle natin? So that is without the use of heat exchanger. So para ma-compare lang natin na ano yung sense ng pagkakaroon ng heat exchanger sa cycle. So we'll be comparing its COP. So alin ba yung ating dito? So yung standard vapor, di yung last week natin diniscuss. Ito, and then lalabas na, papasok ng compressor natin ng vapor, and then yan. So these are yung normal. So meaning, meron tayong condenser temperature of 36 degrees Celsius, pero dito lang yun again, temperature. Ang equal dito ay pressure. And then dito naman, condensing, which is negative 10. So this is our state point 1, 2, 3, 4. Pero in this case, you can use all of the enthalpies that is equal or equivalent na dun sa other enthalpies na dito sa my heat exchanger. So as you can see, yung ating normal, yung bago siya pumasok ng compressor is equal to H6 na. So H6 dito, tapos ito naman is H3 which is equal to H dito, 4 prime. Okay, sabihin na natin 1 prime, 2 prime, 3 prime, which is equal to 3 din naman, and then 4 prime, which is equal to, equal sa H3. Clear ba tayo? So kindly compute the COP. So meaning for you to compute for the COP, you have to find the value of H2. Kasi meron na tayong value dito which is HG equal siya sa H6. Ito naman H3 equal siya sa HF which is equal to H4. So for you to get yung COP natin, ang standard vapor compression, kailangan mong mahanap yung H2 prime. So paano mo mahahanap yung H2 prime? Again, paano mo mahanap yung H2 prime? Ano yung mga common point sa H2? Kagaya din ng last week, meron tayong ano? Paano natin mahahanap to? So mahahanap natin to in terms of pressure at the condenser. Ano? Which is also equal to 1391.1 kPa. And then S1 which is equal to S2 which is equal to Sg at 0.6. Clear? Clear tayo doon?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am.
So meaning to get our 2 prime, H2 prime, so kailangan nating gamit yung pressure at condenser which is equal to P2 which is equal to 1391.1 kPa kung yun nga yung value kung tama yung pagkakaalala ko. And then S1 which is equal to S2 which is equal to Sg at negative 10 degrees Celsius. And in this case, for us to get yung negative 10 or Sg, that is 5.7550. 5.7550. So that is equivalent to 5.7750 and then yung itong 1391.1, no? So in this case, ito yung state point 2 natin para mahanap natin yung H2 prime. So ito lang, share this tab, ito. So, ito pa din yung line natin, So, ito yung line natin for 1291. 129, tama ba? 1391 pala. Dun sa 1391. 1391.1, tapos ang hanapin lang natin is 5.755 Sg or specific or entropy natin. So, ito yung line. Ito yung kinapik ko. And then, i-move natin siya to 5.755. So, para siyang nandito sa gitna. So, 5.7, nasa gitna siya nito. 5.7 at 5.9. Nasaan ba yung gitna nun? Ayan. So, kung mapapansin nyo, again, nasa 5.7, nasa gitna pero mababa ng konti dito. Sa gitna na to. So, parang andito siya. Clear ba? Clear? Ito. So, again, nasa 5.755, 5.8. So, nandito sa gitna pero mababa ng konti. So, susundan mo lang yung curve na yan para mahanap mo. So, ito parang ito doon, and then mas mababa ng konti. So, nasa yan. Clear ba tayo sa pagkuha? Pa-thumbs up naman. So, saan siya tumapat? Saan siya tumapat? Saan siya tumapat? Saan siya tumapat? So meaning, in this case, ito yung ating 2 with heat exchanger. No. Ay, sorry. Ito yung point natin na 2 with heat exchanger. Ito naman yung 2 prime, which is our standard vapor compression cycle. Pumatak siya dyan. So meaning, ang H natin, or H2 prime natin is equivalent to, ano yung tinapatan niya? 1? Anyone?
1679 po.
Nasa 1679, tama? 1679 pero yon yung nasa natin is 1680. Clear ba? Pasok naman siya. Pasok siya doon sa tolerance natin plus minus 2. Naintindihan? Clear?
Yes po.
Okay, so meaning for us to get yung ating heat, ito. So dito, for us to get yung ating COP ng standard vapor compression cycle, so paano natin siya mako-compute? So paano natin siya kukumputin? So COP dito na lang sa taas. COP of standard vapor compression cycle is QA over work. Ano? So ano yung QA natin dito sa red lines na to? QA natin, heat added is H1, no? H1, in this case, H6. Tama ba? Itong point na to. Para hindi na tayo malilito sa pagkuha ng enthalpy dito. So H6 minus H3. Naintindihan? Kasi itong H3, HF equals sa H4. So H6 minus H3 divided by work natin, which is 1 or 2 prime minus 6. Okay, so H2 prime minus H6. Clear ba? Kasi ito yung 2 prime, ito, point na to minus itong 6 na to. Clear? So meaning yung H2 prime, yun yung nakuha natin kanina. Nasaan ba yung nakuha natin kanina? Ano yung nakuha natin? 1680. Tama? Tama ba? Yan. So, ito yung nakuha natin kanina na 1680. Then, isa-substitute lang natin siya. Ano? Naintindihan ba? Malinaw naman.
Yes po.
Okay, so therefore, for us to get yung COP natin, lagay na lang natin dito sa kabila. Ayan, ito siya. So COP with the heat exchanger is equivalent to yon H6 minus H3. Since we have compute earlier, yan. Ayan, ito. H6, minus H3. Ayan, and then H2 prime minus H6. Okay? So therefore, yung COP natin is 4.696. And as we can compare it, with the COP of the system with heat exchanger. So yung COP with heat exchanger is greater than that without heat exchanger or the standard vapor compression cycle. So that is the point why tayo gumagamit ng heat exchanger sa refrigeration system natin. So one is to increase our COP. Clear ba tayo doon? Question. Clear? Question.
Yes po, ma'am.
Yun lang po.
Okay, so pataas naman ako ng kamay kung clear tayo doon. Okay, so ito naman is a problem set from problem number 5 to, which will be submitted on Friday with problem set number 4. Number 4. So yung problem number 4 at 5, sabay siya ipapasa on Friday para nasolve nyo na siya bago tayo mag-lecture ng sunod na topic about actual vapor compression cycle. So this one uses compressor, so may binigay na datas for compressor. So meaning, gagamitin niyo yung nandoon sa first lecture natin about compressor na mga formulas to solve this problem. Okay? And then on the other hand naman, doon sa paggamit naman ng subcooled and superheated, so yun yung mga tinuro natin kanina sa pagtingin sa chart at table. Okay? Any question? Okay, so kasi hindi pa ako nakakapagbigay din ng sample problem wherein ang binigay is pressure, hindi directly temperature. So this one, ang binigay is pressure, so baliktad naman. Sa pressure kayo titingin to get temperature and other datas. Okay? Clear ba tayo dito?
Yes po.
Yes po.
Yes po.
May tanong ba? So again, this will be submitted on Friday, soft copy, and then yung lahat ng hard copy, ipapasa bago mag-midterm. Okay? Again, Friday. 2 problem lang naman to, and I think yung unang number 4 ay nasolve niya na. Yes, Eliza?
Ma'am, yung problem number 2 po ay sa Saturday pa rin po ba ipapasa?
Alin yun?
Pala po, nagpagawa po kayo ng...
Okay. Hindi, kasabay na siya nito. Para yung exercises is lahat Sunday, yung mga concepts. Okay, ito naman is dalawang problem due on Friday. Clear ba? Para magkasama yung problem. Any question? Clarification? Okay, yes, Carl.
Ma'am, bali yung pong sa exercise po, yung pong concepts po, yun po yung Sunday po, ano po. Then yung, ito pong mga problems po, that requires solving. Gaya po nung nauna po, last time po, yung naiwan po nating problem. Ito, yun po yung Friday.
Oo.
Okay.
Kasi kaya ko ipinauna yung sa problem kasi meron tayong panibagong topic about actual vapor compression. So para na practice nyo na din mag-solve about these problems. Ano? Okay. May tanong pa ba? So lahat naman ng ginamit natin ngayon, maliban dun sa mga sagot dito sa ay hindi ko nabigay. So screenshot nyo na lang or yan, kasama naman na yan sa mga na-discuss natin. Nag-solve din naman kayo sa inyo. So, ayun. I think di naman magkakaroon ng problem doon. So, any question? Kung wala nang tanong, goodbye class and again, see you next week.
Salamat po, ma'am.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po.
Thank you, ma'am.